Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Hyper Metroid, and this time there will actually be progress and I don't die, so that's a major improvement. So again with Meridia, I've sort of already been through a bit of it. I've not gone through nearly all of it that I will be going through without Gravity Suit, because that's unfortunately a thing still, but so yeah, with Meridia I really just wanted to check out what was here, see if I could grab anything. There did not appear to be anything with what I looked at, so there really wasn't. I didn't feel much point in continuing on much further. I went up here just because I hadn't been here yet, so this seemed like it might lead to something new, and it kind of, sort of does, but not really. Besides getting up this wonderful shaft here, which is just full of lovely sand and such. And this is part of the issue. I mean, it's not just this hack. A lot of hacks in general do this. And I'm probably very guilty of this myself. It's where, with this, it feels like I'm breaking this. I should get like a good reward for this. I'm doing something difficult, not exactly intended. I expect there to be at least something I get out of this. Well, in a lot of hacks, and this one's no exception, not exactly the case. As we come across one of these bridges. And the difficult thing about this one is, you can bomb jump across the first one. The second one, not so much, because the spikes. Because you have to crawl along the ceiling. So yeah, it's unfortunately not likely going to happen. However, that is basically just a quicker way to get to Gravity Suit. So if you happen to have another item that lets you roll across this faster, then you can go up through that door and get your Gravity Suit instead of looping around. That's really all it is. So again, sort of at both entrances to the gravity area, and I just didn't go through the door. The other one, I couldn't actually do anything even if I wanted to. So, hooray me. So with that out of the way, I do end up going back to the wreck ship. There was stuff to explore there. I actually thought I was making progress. I just sort of obviously did something stupid and rolled into a batch of spikes for a missile pack that sort of cost me a lot. So, besides being filled with some cargoes, to allow me to refill my health a little bit. The wreck ship, again, probably the best looking wreck ship when the mossy tiles are used. Otherwise, just a wreck ship. And yeah, those worms confound me for a while. Because it's like, this should be grappleable, and those worms aren't, so it's like, I sort of want them to be grappleable. There's also multiple types of fish. There's obviously the multiple types of side hoppers, and then the lettuce leaves. So there's really a lot of variety within the same enemy types. Just based on like copied enemies It's like, well, these ones have this much health and are weak to this. These ones have this much health, aren't weak to that, or whatever. It provides something a little bit different than your normal hack does. So getting back to the erect ship. Again, not a big issue at all. And of course, pick up the other missile, because now we can do 8 supers. And having a lot of missiles is very good for project-based Phantoon. If you're familiar with how he works, you'll know why. And Phantoon, I believe, is actually supposed to be the first major boss you fight. And again, I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be the first major boss you fight. And then after that, you're supposed to find Kraid. And then it's Ridley and then Dragon. Dragon is supposed to be the last boss. I do know that. Ridley and Dragon are the last 2, and Dragon is the last one. So the boss order, I mean, if Phantoon is supposed to be the first, it's kind of interesting in that it's different. It's not your usual Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, Ridley. So that in itself makes that kind of fun. And I know I talked about the room over here the last time, where on the map it only shows going to Meridia, so it's like, why bother looking through that? There's really nothing there that I want. I don't want to go to Meridia, seeing how I was just there. And without the door tiles on there, I'm not totally against rooms not showing both sides of the door connection. Because understand, it's a Metroid game, you want the players to explore, you should hide stuff. I mean, every door does not need to be visible. But in a situation like that, where they absolutely have to go there and there's really not much, there may not seem at first to be much point to going there, just based on the map. Some ways to combat that would be to make basically get rid of that Meridia thing underneath. I know it is the connection, but it would at least say, hey, look, there's a door here, and there's more to this room besides that door. Maybe go have a look. With the situation I came up in, where I just came from Meridia and had absolutely nothing to do, apparently, which is not true. Apparently, that's what I concluded based on my experience there. So, I mean, at that point, it's just like, And then for some players, it might just be, well, Meridia is normally a late game area. I still don't have that much. It's underwater, of course, and I don't think suitless is fun, so I'm not going there. So there could be lots of thought processes like that. But anyway, if you do have supers, you can go up to this door. Otherwise, you have to go through the door further down and make sort of a loop. Basically, this is sort of a shortcut. Well, it's not really a shortcut. It's a passage that lets you get to Meridia that also includes a super missile pack. And these treadmills are kind of obnoxious. But yeah, you got kind of an obvious path there. Collect another super missile. And again, the super missile packs give you 10 ammo. And add to total ammo, not just the super missile thing, so I'm going to keep harping on this because the ammo system is easily amazing, and all hacks should do that. So this room is wonderfully item music room. don't even know. Anyway, this room. You kind of got like this outside look from the wreck ship on these pieces. It's kind of hard to look out there, but that's an interesting little thing. I kind of like how it's like, hey, here's the actual edge of the ship. You can see outside of it from here. And all the way up here is our Varia suit. So if you get this before Ridley... Before Ridley? What in the world? Before Phantoon. Oh boy. I are the good at the English. So if you get that before Phantoon, that's good. Something else to note about that major boss head icon on the map. It's in the correct spot and all, but it sort of makes it look like the door to his room, or at least this is what I thought when I was playing it. It looked like the door to his room was on the right side. And it's not. Now, it's just the way it sort of overlaps the map tile, so not all of it visible. Kind of makes it look like the door marker is on the right side, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's quite possible. Also, this item had a pretty obvious hint that I just missed. It's like, It's like, well, maybe there's something here that I have to do. Well, you probably noticed it yourself, but there is a single spike that is different from the rest in this mess of spikes. So, yeah. And no, you're not required to take damage to get that if you wait till after you defeat Phantoon. Spoilers, the power goes off and you are fine. So, yeah. But again, I like tanking spikes to get items, as my previous video sort of showed. I do also have to say, it's kind of nice on the wrecked ship how it sort of feels like a distinct area where I could actually make a lot of progress. Like, I made a lot of progress in Brinstar, and I was able to explore around Meridia. But the wreck ship is one place where it feels like, you know, hey, I've done what I can in this place for now. I know I have to come back and finish up the rest later, but it actually feels like I'm done there. You don't get that feeling from other places. So, yeah. I don't know, that's probably really, really hard to manage for all places. So, yeah, power bomb guarded by more power bomb blocks. Get used to that. Also, hooray for mossy tiles. And yes, the wreck ship does indeed have 3 gates in it, despite its size. It's got some nice little things in it. And I am still trying to head over to the right side of Phantoon's room, because, again, I still think the door is over there. It's like that. Like, I know better now, but I was having trouble with this robot and thought for sure that I was headed toward Phantoon here, but blocked off by a powerbomb door. So it's like, ugh. I was like, well. And then, for some reason, I thought that might be a thing. It wasn't a thing, so that was sort of thwarted. So back to more suitless underwater, which I had just done quite a bit of and not been very happy with my results, so... And again, look at the mossy tiles in here. I mean, that's... it just gives the thing like a state, makes it look like it's actually been wrecked for a while and it's had time for this to grow, sort of decay. It just looks much better. So up here is the first gate, and you kind of want wave beam to get it, although there's a passage to actually hit it otherwise. But here you can see we've unlocked 3 gates now because there are 12 remaining, and gate number 11. So I clearly had the number of gates when I talked about them earlier and the areas there in Rome. Or did I? Yes, I did. Okay. But yeah, you can actually fall down from the room above. There's a bombable spot on the floor. Which actually, this just came to my mind. I never even thought about this when I was playing it. Well, it actually wouldn't matter, because the robots are off. But I was thinking, with the robots up above, if you had like an obvious wall that's breakable by enemies, with the robots up above in that secret passage, you could like bomb the floor to open it up, push the robot so it falls down the hole or whatever, and then it can break the wall in the room below. Something like that. Because I'm a doofus. And here I was like, because I thought that room was how I got to Fantoon, because it looked like the door marker was over there. Even though I could see the room right now on the minimap, I never really paid attention to that. There's really no door marker on it. But it's blocked off by a powerbomb door, and powerbomb doors at this point have become the new super missile doors, and that I am sick of seeing them. I don't want any more. I want powerbombs so I can actually advance and keep exploring. And thanks to the wonderful physics of Project Base. Yes, that is me damage boosting underwater. But thanks to the wonderful physics of Project Base allowing underwater wall jumping and such, I go exploring for a little bit. And I can't actually make it to the save up top or the other room. I was trying to aim for the save, but clearly it didn't work. And then I fall down and it's like, wait, because there's a super missile door there. So I want to get to that super missile door. As it turns out, I was watching Desirect stream this hack, and he actually did get to that super missile door. There is a way to do it. However, if you do that, you are going to be vastly disappointed once you get in there. Because, again, you need another item after opening the super door. And that was another damage boost. Basically, to get to it, when you get up to the top of this wall, which I'm still thinking there's a chance I get to this door, so that's what I'm doing. But when you get up here, what I saw Desi do was, when he jumped off the top ledge, he morphed and laid a bunch of bombs while sort of angling toward the door, and one of them sort of really propelled him through the water somehow. Like, it ignored underwater physics and just pushed him straight to the door. So you can get to the door, you can open it up. I think you can explore 1.5 screens total before you are brick-walled. So, yeah. So right now, I am pretty disappointed. I really wanted to get the Fantoon. I thought I was going to get a boss out of order. Again, I'm pretty sure... Like, I'm thinking Kraid is the first boss. And afterwards, I'm pretty sure Fantoon is the first boss. So, yeah. But I'm thinking I'm breaking stuff, and I'm not. Which, again, being open-ended, it's kind of like, well, I don't know any better, so it's kind of part of the fun of open-ended hacks like this. I mean, there's a lot of exploration in hacks in general. But an open-ended hack, it's slightly different just because it's like, hey, I can go a lot of places right now. And I'm not really sure which, if any of them, are the correct path. Whereas in a more linear hack, you're going on a path. You can be 80% or more sure. I just made that number up. But you're a lot more sure this is actually where you're supposed to be going. So it's a different dynamic to the hack. It gives it a different feel. And it's really not going to be for everybody. So yeah, right now I am confounded. Because I never looked at the minimap, the boss room on the minimap. Noticed there was no actual doors marked. So I'm still just like, ugh. I think I have to go through Meridia or something to get to Fantoon now, or have power bombs to open up the doors. Thankfully, though, I do end up just going through the room that looks like it just goes to Meridia. And really the only reason I end up doing that is because it's like, well, there's nothing else here, but I can reach this room. I might as well look. Maybe I have to go through Meridia to get back to that side of the wreck ship or something. Which isn't exactly the case, but it's a thought I had. Also, newsflash, grapple blocks are good. I'm kind of surprised. I think I just noticed this was there's no mossy tiles on those little platforms that stick up in the water. That seems a little strange. And again, I'm destroying atomics for reasons. Yeah, there's like no mossy tiles on those. I don't know about that. It's interesting. So you gotta do a bit of grappling. And again, the grappling in this hack is actually almost over already, and there's really not that difficult. That right there is probably the hardest grapple part of the hack. So there's nothing much there. But there is a suspicious save. I almost said stave. A suspicious save, and this is where I left this video off because it was suspicious, so I wanted to... First of all, the video was getting up there in length, and I wanted to create drama for what's in the next video. I was thinking ahead. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you for the next part, where we actually do some more things in the wreck ship and defeat a certain floating bloat sack. So we will see you for that.